Mic's on. Everything's good. Good evening. And welcome to another episode review with Scuba and the Rye. Today, we're going to review The Mandalorian Episode 6. The Prisoner.
Dun dun dun.
So, here's your warning. Spoilers abound. If you have not checked it out, go check it out. If you have not, and come back here and watch this review. Also, there'll be a card with a link to the other review episodes we've done in this series. So, with that, let's just kick it.
Kick it into high gear because this episode was definitely a treat.
Oh yeah, one of the strongest episodes yet.
And you heard me when I came in the house. I said it was my favorite episode so far.
I loved it because it was the cameos. It's like we were seeing people.
Oh yes, and the variety of characters on top of the cameos made what I had clamored for in this universe of Star Wars, which is broad and beyond just the core that we know. Mm-hmm. And this did deliver on that for me.
All right, so let's walk through the episode. We see Mando comes to this like salvage yard space station type thing. It definitely feels very underworld, seedy. Underworld and seedy, so.
Yeah. Yes, it does that. It definitely represents the core element of, being outside of the grips of the New Republic. So you get to see the Mandalorian in his element, where he is a true bounty hunter. He's out there getting scraps, doing jobs, dealing with not so perfect, kind of shady characters, so he can get by.
Yeah, and also we get a little more taste of his backstory. Excuse me. A little more of his backstory in his youth, because you can definitely tell there's a definite shift.
Oh yeah, there's a definite tonal shift, and that tonal shift also helps in building up the character. That is Mando, like you said. So you get to see some more characters of his past, but not so force-fed, but just enough to wet your whistle.
Mm-hmm.
So
he goes to the station, meets an old contact, and then because of his ship, is brought into this crew to go and rescue someone from what originally was a rival syndicate. Turned out it was a prison ship.
Yeah, a New Republic prison ship.
It's a prison breakout.
Yes.
And it's like, wow.
Oh yeah, just the whole like heist element, the breaking in, the unexpected moments of things turning sideways. It had all the workings of what dealing with the nitty gritty of the underworld you would expect to see.
Yeah, and seeing Mando betrayed like that and tossed in a cell.
Yeah,
that didn't come as too much of a shock.
No, it was very telegraphed. Mm-hmm. Like you could tell it was going to happen. You knew exactly when it was going to happen. But even though you knew it, it set up for what I praised the episode for, is highlighting what makes the Mandalorian dangerous.
Mm-hmm. And I love once they lock him in the cell, the whole tone shifted again. It had a very horror movie vibe after that.
Oh, yeah.
And that was that was pretty impressive. Yeah, yeah. And it had you guessing.
Oh yeah. So it broke the norms of the past 5 episodes, where it was just a Western by fault. Mm-hmm. And then now it's okay, we know he's a lone gunner. Now we get to see him in the element where it genre bends. So you have the horror element, you have the action element, you have the heist element, all kind of melding together within the Star Wars lore.
Yes.
So.
And I thought it was great because honestly, I gotta be honest. When I watched it, because I watched the parts of it, but that first time going through it, it was like, did he? Didn't he? Did he?
You never know.
You don't know until the end, and then you're like, oh, that was good.
And then the very, very end.
And that, yeah, the whole. All right, so they go. He gets tossed in the cell. He gets himself out. Flips the script. It takes the entire crew out.
Yes.
And then goes back to the salvage yard. Drops off the guy, and when they're about to betray him, they realize they've been set up. and Mando gets out of it scot-free.
Oh yeah, the X-wings come in and skadoosh.
And it's like, oh, it looks like they're gonna launch a gunship. All right, well,
Such a great ending to a great show.
I love the cameos.
Oh, yeah.
I love the cameos. I love the X-wing fighter cameos.
Yeah.
Seeing Dave Filoni in there was really satisfying.
It's a highlight of it because you see somebody who loves this material get to play a role within the own episode.
The guy who's behind a lot of the recent material,
especially the Clone Wars.
Yeah, Clone Wars, Rebels, Resistance. He wrote a couple of the episodes. Co-directed. It's like, dude, this is great. So let's see. Yeah. So some of the other cameos. How many were there? Any that just seemed surprising, or it took you a few minutes to kind of figure out who they were?
Well, I'm not as knee deep in a lot of the Star Wars lore, so I didn't really pick up on all the cameos.
This is straight.
So
out.
I would
just go with the actor cameos.
Okay, let's just roll down the list of what you know.
All right. So the guy who's the scrap dealer.
Yeah.
We've seen him as a principal character in Sons of Anarchy early on.
All right.
He's also in Too Fast, Too Furious as kind of a bit player.
Okay.
Then we have the guy who is dressed up, who kind of had that demon, the horns thing.
Yeah.
Did you catch who that was?
I felt like I've seen him before, but I couldn't pick up on it. And Saladin seems to be excited about this one.
Do you remember a little film with Christopher Lambert back in the 80s called Highlander?
Okay.
The Kurgan.
There you go. All right.
That was him. Then more recently, Happy Gilmore. He was the dude who had the nail in his head.
Oh, that's great.
Of course, Dave Filoni being an X-wing fighter. Some of the other ones I probably didn't easily recognize, but seeing them was probably the most satisfying.
I think the only reason I didn't pick up on all the cameos because I was so enraptured within the episode itself.
Oh yeah, the makeup is great.
Yeah. I just was like completely escaped and enthralled.
I mean, if somebody never told me Andy Turdick was K2SO, I wouldn't have made the connection.
Really?
So, what about you, Saladin? You watched it. What did you think?
As much as I could.
Yes, do apologize. You can always watch it again. But from what you saw, what'd you think of it?
It was good.
Okay.
I mean, I only just watched it, so I haven't really had time to process 2 episodes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You watched 5 and 6 back to back.
Yeah.
Lots of process. Well, I think this is pretty straightforward. We know we got another episode dropping tomorrow.
Yep, another episode 7 drops tomorrow, and then episode 8 drops December 27th, next Friday.
All right. Do we have any interesting tidbits from who directed this one?
This one was directed by Rick Famuyiwa, who directed the 2nd episode of the series.
Okay.
And then this one was actually a co-written episode between Christopher Yost and Rick Fuma as himself too. And Christopher Yost, has ties with a lot of Marvel comics.
Nice. Well, I think we'll call that one short and sweet and to the point.
Oh yeah.
So come back, check us out for when we do our next review, and happy holidays.
Happy holidays, people. Peace.